Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So why is the new Little Mermaid racist? And who is it racist towards? Well, the new Little Mermaid is actually extremely racist towards both whites and blacks. Let's get into it. First, let's talk about those who say they have a problem with historical characters being blackwashed, but have no problem at all with fictional characters being blackwashed. Well, everyone should have a big problem with both historical and fictional characters being blackwashed, and here is why. Because fictional characters rarely exist in vacuums. Fictional characters are frequently based on ancient mythologies that are very particular, precious, and even sacred to the ethnic group that character came from. Fantasy characters are part of and often inseparable from the races that they originated from. Mythology is the distinct spiritual expression of each particular race, and mythology is what connects a race to its heritage and ancestors. So for one race or group to basically steal the myths of another race is a malicious act that intentionally severs that race from its connection to its native heritage. And of course, everyone seems to understand this concept when it comes to non-white races. For example, if Disney were to cast a black actress to play Moana in the upcoming live-action film, people would be rightfully outraged. Even though Moana is a fictional fantasy character, and even though the story of Moana is very modern, unlike the story of the Little Mermaid. We all innately understand that Moana represents the ancient culture of the Polynesian race, and that replacing Moana with someone who is not racially Polynesian would be an act of incredible and intentional disrespect towards Polynesians. But of course, when white people's fairy tales are stolen and the characters replaced by blacks, no one is allowed to be rightfully offended by it. Yes, there is a lot of racism going on, and there is one race that is the target. The fact is that The Little Mermaid and all European fairy tales that have had characters blackwashed, such as Frozen, Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella, Princess and the Frog, Rings of Power, and much more are distinctly white European stories, and making characters in these stories non-white is intentionally malicious cultural and racial appropriation. Blackwashing is intentionally meant to tell white people that their culture and rich history doesn't matter or even exist, and that it belongs to everyone, except for white people. The Little Mermaid is a European, specifically Scandinavian fairy tale about a blue-eyed, white-skinned girl. Everything about the story itself, the author, the setting, the language, the characters, the worldview, is distinctly white European, and was always meant to be white European. Also, because the new Little Mermaid is intentionally racist towards white people, it by default is racist towards black people. There are nearly 50 countries in sub-Saharan Africa, as well as thousands of distinct tribes. There are over 1 billion black people in sub-Saharan Africa alone. And all of these black cultures have their own unique mythologies and legends that are distinctly black. There are hundreds of black stories to choose from. When white characters are blackwashed, it tells black people that they shouldn't embrace their own heritage, their own traditions, their own stories. That instead they should be proud to steal and appropriate the stories and mythologies of other races. It tells black people they should be happy and proud to see a black woman with fake red white girl hair play a white character instead of being happy to see a black woman embracing her natural hair and playing a woman from real African mythology. This is extremely insulting to black people, and basically tells them the only stories they are worthy of telling to each other are stories they appropriated and stole from whites. The new Little Mermaid tells blacks to embrace the story and hair of another race, instead of loving and embracing their own. How much better would it be for black girls' self-esteem to see a black girl play a character from black African mythology and loving her natural hair, instead of seeing a black girl appropriating a white story with fake straight red white girl hair? I see a lot of blacks saying they want representation, and I agree blacks need representation and role models. The thing is, if blacks want representation, they need to be represented by black stories. Stealing the fairy tales, cultures, stories, and racial features of other races is not representation. It's theft. Blacks need to love their own heritage, cultures, and hair. And black self-love doesn't happen by celebrating the theft of white fairy tales. So I hope this video helped you think a little more critically about the agendas being pushed in the media today. And if you like this content, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel. I'll talk to you in the next video, and thanks for watching.